in the cleanup of this massive crash, of all the chemicals that were spilled everywhere and the continuation of them removing cars, and I'm sure there are still chemicals being spilled out of the ground as they're demolishing these cars to haul them off site. They came in there, dug the trench, exploded the car, lit the flares, burned the vinyl chloride off. Now all those chemicals are in the ground.
Water. Yeah. He's worried about water because he has a well. So for the first time today, it wasn't just the governor, I guess, who was planning to drink bottled water. He's telling people if you have a well, you need to be doing that too. And if you want to get your well tested, you can call the 330 number. We wrote it down. We'll put it up on the screen. I mean, I don't understand top down why the federal government is not already on the ground and going house to house at this point.
The federal government is nowhere to be found. I'm there a lot. And so there's so many different problems with this situation. I suggest that anyone inside of the city or within 3 or 4 miles do not drink the water, drink only bottled water, do not bathe in the water. And if you have the means, I strongly suggest you get a hotel. I think it's going to be months of soil testing, air testing, and water testing. And I think you have to have journals. You have to have a medical journal on yourself of how you were before the accident and how you are after the accident. And I think every time they come and they do a sampling of your soil or your water or your air, you need to log that. If they come with equipment, use your phone and take a picture of the data that they're producing, because it's really hard to believe the government that everything's just okay. I'm having trouble with that, especially because I'm on the ground.
You know, it's interesting because it's your state government, and what you're saying is you need help. And I know critics have been livid over Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg's long-delayed response to this crisis. It's like it's not even happening. Well, for him, I guess it's not.
I think the Secretary of Transportation needs to resign. I think Mark Rubio was point on. I think his response to this is the last straw. He's already proven over the last 2 years that he's incompetent of this job. They called him Pothole Pete for a reason. He should not be in this position. He has not even come close to being near ground zero, and he should be ashamed.
You're right about what Senator Marco Rubio had said. You've now said it even stronger, and so here's the response from Buttigieg. He hit Twitter to respond, but first then seeming somewhat downplaying the crisis. Watch.
There's clearly more that needs to be done, because while this horrible situation has gotten a particularly high amount of attention, there are roughly 1,000 cases a year of a train derailing.
It sounds like a lie that there would be something like what you are experiencing 1,000 times a year in the United States. That just doesn't even sound. This is of epic proportions. What's your reaction?
We all saw the video. We all saw that explosion. We all saw what went in the air. And we've even seen the pictures from the sky, from above the clouds, on how it penetrated the atmosphere. This is a party that's supposed to be about the environment, and yet they are nowhere to be found. And let me tell you, it doesn't matter what political party you are in East Palestine right now. They don't care about D's and R. They care about human life. I have single moms that have 4 or 5 kids living next to the railroad track crying in the streets. It is so much worse than the federal government understands. And for him to say that is irresponsible of just being a human being, to be honest with you, Harris.
Senator Rulli, before I let you go, I do want to hit this. There were, and the Governor DeWine talked about this. There were pictures all over Twitter last night of water that looked like something really bad was floating in it. People would throw a rock into the water in these videos, and stuff would bubble up that you couldn't even describe. And apparently that's something that he says they knew about. There was a section of a creek called Sulphur Run near the crash site, severely contaminated, but it was dammed off very early on. Why didn't we know that before?
I don't have that answer, but I can strongly suggest anyone that's watching this within the 4 or 5 miles, I would stay with bottled water for months. Those creeks, I think, speak very loudly, Harris.
Can most people afford to do that where you are? I mean, there are 4,700 people. It's not a huge area. And you talk about those moms in the streets crying, single mothers. I mean, you got to go stay in a hotel, drink bottled water. I mean, this is not a vacation. This is going to be expensive. And you didn't plan.
We're ready. We're writing legislation right now that's going to take care of any of the cracks, and I think the governor will sign that. I have confidence in that. And Mike from Second Harvest Food Bank, we have 6 trailer loads of new water going in there right now today. We're trying to get every family, not 25 to 30 cases of water, and we're going to make sure you have your hotel rooms. We're going to make sure the samplings are done in the soil, the air, and in the water. Please keep those logs and journals. It's going to be a long time. I would say at least a year before that time even comes close to being back to normal.
Well, I can think of some way we can help, because you just gave us Second Harvest Food Bank. It's something many of us are dedicated to in America. Food insecurity, water insecurity. I can get that out on social media. And I want you to come back and update us when you can. Senator, really thank you, and God bless you. And we pray for the people of East Palestine and those right across the border in Pennsylvania that are also feeling it. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you.